Shalom. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahabushai, Bahashem Rahakwadash. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem means in the name. Yahabushai be the true name of the Son of the Heavenly Father, who the world knows is Jesus Christ, but his true ancient Hebrew name is Yahabushai. The modern side teachers, the apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the Lord's elect, teaching in truth and sincerity for the sake of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahabushai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. Here's the destruction should make sense. Seeing what's on display here in America, the very thing that offends the Lord is everything that's pretty much looked upon to be esteemed. But yet the things that pleases the Lord is everything that's frowned upon here in this society. And there's going to be a recompense for it. This is why the Lord tell you that this is not your place of rest, because it'll destroy you, even with a sword destruction. America is a place that destroys your mind first and foremost. You cleave to this place as a man, you lose your masculinity. Some men become homos, heavily effeminate, nigga overly emasculated, grow his hair out, clothes become skimpy, you see? And overall, the nigga become weak. And as a woman, you lose your femininity. Women become masculine. You become a whore. You lose the nature of womanhood, man. You see? And this is what's on display here in America, where especially amongst the tribes, so-called blacks, Latino, Native American, Seminole, Indians, which you are the biblical Israelites. You see, and amongst the children of Israel, you see whoredom and homosexuality amongst the men. Niggas weak as hell, man. You see? And the women just hold out. But yet, this comes from people cleaving to the lifestyle of America. This place destroys you, man. You see, real quick. This is Romans 12 and verse 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahabushai. You see? So you can't be conformed to this world and thinking the Lord will love you, man. The Lord said he loveth none but him that dwell with wisdom. But the thing that this world set on the pedestal is folly. Folly is what's set in great dignity. That's why you have a thing of delusion, man. Everybody in the delusional spirit. Niggas questioning common sense. Niggas questioning foundational standards and morals. You questioning things that shouldn't be questioned. You see? People got all these dumbass opinions, But yet the things that destruct people is the things that's accepted with open arms. But the things that actually add structure to you, which is these scriptures, it is frowned upon, man. You see, so you can't be conformed to this world. It says, and be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You go into this word transform. It's like this word conform. It says to conform oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern. Fashion oneself according to. So you want your mindset and your character fashioned after the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahabushai, which is going to lead you to life. Because the Lord presents wisdom, and wisdom gives life to them that have it. When you read Ecclesiastes, I believe that's the 7th chapter, verse 11, or 12, speaks about that wisdom being in defense and money being in defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. In which your mindset and your character being fashioned a pattern after the ways of the Lord, well, you're walking in wisdom. You see, and that wisdom is going to lead you to life. Contrary to being fashioned after the ways of the so-called white man Esau Edom, where he present folly, because within his society, folly was set in great dignity, and which is going to lead you to death, man. But even just going back, reading it in the NLT, yes, it says don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world. You see, because the behavior and custom of this world, it's going to lead you to homosexuality, man. You see, because that's the forefront of this society, the LGBT, freakism, man. You see? It says, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect, and what's pleasing unto the Lord. Seeking him, man. You see, the things that's pleasing unto the Lord has been made known unto us. Happy are we, like it tells you in the book of Baruch. You see, the Lord said, this is the work that you believe on him who he has sent. Believe it in the report. This is pleasing unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And also the foolishness of preaching, teaching his word, learning his word, and teaching his word in truth and sincerity is pleasing unto him. You see? And these are mysteries, to the people in the world, because they got that filth of America on them, man. But yet, once you transform by the renewing of your mind, these things are made known unto you. So therefore, you can actually throw your name in the hat to be delivered, man. You can actually hope in being delivered, unlike the people that's fashioned like unto this word, like unto this world, which ultimately leads to death, man. You see real quick. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. You see, this place is polluted, man. Real quick to show you some pollution.
I used to go fishing when I was a little girl. You gotta be real quiet on the creek.
Quiet on the creek. Quiet on the creek.
And that's enough of that. You see? And that's pollution. This is what America is. You see, because with all that nigga ain't get chased out the city. Ain't nobody looking for him. This nigga sleeping good, man. You see? But yet, let you go out there and say America gonna be destroyed. You corner scriptures. People calling the cops on you, man. You see? People, they frown. The scriptures is frowned upon. But yet, that freak and the freakism of this world is accepted, man. I might get struck for calling him a freak. But this is a part of the pollution of the world, and this is that pollution is going to be destroyed. But yet, you being in the spirit of condemning this place and crying out for the abomination that's pleasing unto the Lord, compared to one who said, hey, man, as long as they don't come near my doorstep, he ain't really bothered by it. Well, he's going to be destroyed with this shit, man. You see, because he's part of the pollution. But it says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction. You see? So this place destroys your mind first and foremost, and it's going to lead to that sword destruction, which is by way of those missiles. You see? And this is why the Lord tell you to arise and depart. You see? Come out of this place and be not partakers of her sins, because the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, man, by way of fire. Real quick, this is the book of Jude, chapter 1, and verse 7. It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire, man. You see? So that judgment that fell upon Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities was nothing more but an example of the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua concerning such filth, But yet America then took that example and extended it to the clouds, to where a nigga in Sodom and Gomorrah ain't got shit on a nigga in America. You see? And the judgment is going to be far greater, man. And even when you go into this phrase here, and this lets you know this is speaking of America. This phrase, give themselves over to fornication. It says to go a whoring, Strong's G1608, to go a whoring, give oneself over to fornication. It says here in the Strong's definition to be utterly unchaste, man. You see, and this is the people here in the society. These people are utterly unchaste. You go into that word unchaste, it says relating to or engaging in sexual activity, especially of an illicit or extramarital nature. Now that word illicit goes into going against the law or nature or rules of things, man. And extramarital is pretty much just another way of saying adultery. You see? And this is the nature of this society, man. Well, people, they partake in illicit activities, unlawful sex. You see, and this place is very extramarital where they make music about adultery, man. But even you go into this, you go into these root words, you got that word porn now. And this is a heavy thing here in America that's pushed upon people, man. Matter of fact, let's see real quick. When you go into this root word, let's see.
Strong's G 4203. Parnuo.
Parnuo, it says to prostitute one's body to the lust of another. You see, and this is what's on display here in the society, man. All this sexual filth. You see all over social media. Bitches selling box, at an all-time high. See, it says to give oneself to unlawful sexual intercourse, man, getting it from the backside. You see, these transgender, all this shit, this is what's on display here in America, man. To commit fornication, which is a form of adultery, and even spiritual fornication, which is idolatry, man. It says to be given to idolatry, to worship idols. And all this shit is on display at its height as of now here in America, man. You see, it says in the Strong's definition, literally indulge unlawful lust or either sex or practice idolatry. So yes, man, all this is what's on display. Look, when you go into this word, let's see.
Strong's G 4204. Parne.
Right? It says, in which this is where Esau get it from, man. It says a woman who sells her body for sexual use, a prostitute, a harlot, one who yields herself to defilement for the sake of gain. And this is what's on display, at its height here in America, man. You got trick culture. See, bitch looking to get tricked on, flown out, all type of shit. See, you throw that money on the table for a short time, man. But it says of Babylon, Rome, the chief seat of idolatry, man. And this puts America on the scene. Because America is the daughter of Babylon. And this is nothing more but Rome 2.0. You see? And this place is going to be destroyed in its spirit. The end is clear. You see? All the filth here in this society, man. The Lord got to do away with this shit, man, because nothing is sacred anymore. You see? What is that? 2 Timothy 3 and verse 2, it says, I'm gonna read this in the NLT. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at the Most High, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred, you see? And this is the spirit of these filthy ass, nasty, just unmoral as Americans, man. This nigga Saucy Santana, man. That's a nigga you supposed to chase out of the city, but yet they getting ready to persecute the prophets. Men who's bringing structure, the words of the Lord into the earth, bringing forth clear understanding on what the Lord is looking for, and which the Lord gonna destroy this place anyway. This is, this is the intent of his heart. But yet they getting ready to persecute the prophets. But Saucy Santana gonna get off. The fuck out of here, man. Fuck this world, man. You see? This place is fucking disgusting, man. And you don't want to die with this fucking place. So yeah, I pray that you was edified. I have to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rahakwadash. Lord, what's in this video? Shalom.